Ghana. It was an amazing trip. It was a trip that allowed me to really see God in a different way. A time to just reflect and a time to just really be observant to a lot of different things that was presented.
By the time we hit African soil, I mean, it was on. I could feel the energy of the people, the energy of the team, just being excited, being willing to serve, being unified.
And so the Ghana trip showed us going out Mt.Gilead, because it was, even though we went, Mt.Gilead went, your seed went. Everything that you poured into your tithes and offerings is on the ground of Ghana.
We went out to a remote village there in Ghana, and we saw the church plant, a church that was getting established. And I myself, having been a church planter, really resonated with me. And I just, heart really went out for the people to see that in such a remote place that the Word of God was there.
Being able to serve on a missions trip with my bishop, my spiritual father, was just a chance of a lifetime, and I really didn't know what to expect.
The service in Montpon with Bishop was powerful. You know, God just truly used him throughout that whole service, and how it was in waves. It was in waves of anointing, because you can literally feel the power. I couldn't even sit back down while he was ministering.
But I'm talking about the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ. There it is.
One of the things that impacted me the most was visiting the hospital, the maternity ward of the hospital for the women and children, the babies.
It really was emotional to see the conditions that the women had to have their babies in, and how much our tithes and offerings and those funds actually impacted and improved those conditions. It really changed my life and made me more grateful for things that we take for granted. What we saw were rooms that were clean, rooms that had been expanded. The women, we saw women that actually had just given birth to their babies.
The truth of the matter is that all of us came from a mother. And if we can save one woman's life, it's worth all the sacrifice. I didn't give the money just through our organization, but it was really Bishop's idea.
So many people don't know the purpose of prosperity, but we understand this is why you must be blessed, so you can help somebody else.
They were making a presentation to the head of the hospital, and all of a sudden, as they were making this presentation, I just saw the guy sort of walk off, and I was happened to be, and he walked from the front where they were making this presentation, and he came to the side, which would have been about 2 feet away from me, and I saw him wrap himself up in a curtain, and he turned his back, and as I looked at him, and then he turned back around, I just saw the tears kind of flowing down his eyes, and he was just trying to get himself together real quick. And then he after he unwrapped himself from the curtain, he then went back to the area where they were making the presentation, and then I saw at that particular moment how important this was to him. To know that he was the head of the hospital, to know now that this ministry and this church was here, and these people from America had come to witness this momentous occasion. To us as Americans, we would think it was a small thing, but to them it was a huge, life-changing experience. And just to see that man break down like that helped me to see just how important it was.
We're standing in this room, and it's very, very hot in there, and they're talking about the excitement of being able to just redo that part of the hospital. And then someone asked about AC, and then Bishop, from the kindness of his heart, and God always is using our bishop, just opens up this envelope and present them with all of the money that they need to put in the hospital for an AC unit.
It was something that I will never forget, and still the delight, the hope, the joy that you still saw in the faces, in the eyes of the women and those that were there in the hospital, I will never forget. having the opportunity to see what we may think is small and how God multiplies whatever we give to Him for His purpose, and to see the women and to have opportunity with the other team members to be able to pray over these babies. And we found out that on the day of our visit, 4 babies have come into the world, and they were like the seed, if you would, a seed of a generation that will come into the world under different conditions.
Another meaningful experience and significant experience was visiting the Cape Coast Castle, where the slaves were kept before coming to the New World.
It was really just shocking to me how much of the information that was being shared by our tour guide that I had no knowledge of.
You know, we read about things in our history books, and although so much is taken out of the history books pertaining to African Americans, we were there to see where slaves actually lived in literal dungeons, just a hole in the ground, in the bottom of the earth, with 2 windows that had to be 20 feet high.
Amongst the environments in which we went to, like the dungeons for the slaves, for the men, and for the women, it was a door that said door of no return. So it was when they left from that castle, a lot of them never came back. And to be in America, in Richmond, and you have the slave trade here in Richmond, but then to be in another continent where you see the starting point, it comes full circle.
This was my first time on missions. I'm so grateful and thankful. I just want to thank Bishop and co-pastor for the opportunity to be able to serve overseas.
This is not happening everywhere. Until you go out of your comfort zone, you really truly find out it is not happening everywhere.
And so to actually be selected by Mt.Gilead, to know that I'm new to the church, and then to be chosen to be a part of it was just really an unbelievable experience.